Greetings. You have your ticket? You don't have one? No problem, my friend. Just hit the subscription button below. Come on in. Hello, everyone. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey, guys, I just want to take a moment and share my thoughts around the unfortunate incident that happened a couple of days ago with the young man and his 2-year-old daughter who were trying to cross the river over into to get into the United States, and they drowned. And as sad as that situation, is, what's even worse, or sadder, worse, is the political football that is being used for now. In other words, exploiting, two dead people to push, an agenda, that quite frankly breaks all the border laws that are in place in the United States. And, but even greater than that, I don't want to get caught right there in that little nest egg of what the law says or what the law does not say. But I do want to challenge this whole concept about, America is better than this. And, I heard Don Lemon and Chris Como on CNN the other night, and they were just going at it, the audacity. This is not the country we know. This is not the America that we stand for. This is not the America that the world, looks to as its moral, compass and moral leaders. And then I hear a lot of, copper colored people jumping into the fray, into the conversation. And it's just really strange to me when I hear this because, I'm going to ask the simple question is, what standard are we talking about here? What America, not the America that we know. That's not the America that we know who, because we have border laws, like every other major country around the world, I might add, that we have border restrictions. There are certain ways you can enter into those countries. And if you don't believe me, go try to enter into Mexico or go into Mexico and these other countries without the proper paperwork and watch what's going to happen. You're going to have a problem. You're going to be stopped by Border Control Patrol. And you're probably going to be sent back in the opposite direction. It's not a strange phenomenon for a country to have border enforcement. But again, let's go back to exploiting this situation. Because I had a couple of things to say about it, then I'm going to end this video. When you look at immigration as you see it today, the immigrants those who make it across the border have all kind of privileges. From sanctuary cities to sanctuary states, HUD housing, financial support, things that's not even granted to American citizens. Especially when you look at the history of America as it relates to granting benefits to citizens of America who need help, who can't assist themselves. We never can seem to find the resources to help those people, but somehow or another we can find now $4 billion to finance immigration. Or for those who are coming in, the illegal immigrants who are coming across the border. We find that we can find the money for that. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna say it, but when we start talking about reparations, what money? We don't have any money for that. What tax dollars we have? We don't have it, but we can always find it when we want to find it. But again, it's just to indicate how this country feels towards its people of color, and to a lesser degree, how it feels about poor people. But if you're from another country, then all of a sudden, it's different. You matter. American citizens don't matter, though who are at the lowest economic infrastructure, social economic structure. But people coming in from other countries across the borders illegally, somehow they matter. And then you you go get a bunch of idiots who lather everyone up. These idiots like the Don Lemons, Chris Como, Nancy Pelosi, and many others. Some of them maybe you listening to me on this video. Get all lathered up about, I can't believe America could be so insensitive, and this is not the America I knew. This is not the America I grew up with. Well, I don't know. Now, maybe if you're 12 years old, you might be able to say that. But I'll say if you're, 40 years old, I think you will remember things like Martin Luther King getting his head blown off, Malcolm X getting shot in broad daylight, Fred Hampton getting gunned down in his own apartment. I think you will remember a situation with Emmett Till, if you're older, getting beat to death as a 14-year-old boy thrown into an ocean. I think you remember the Black Wall Street. I think you know the history of Rosewood. I think you know about all the lynchings all throughout the United States of America, burning down, raping, pillaging, you know, the Ku Klux Klan, the white citizens' car, I can go on and on and on. So exactly what is this decency that you're talking about in terms of, you know, not the America that you know? Unless you're playing, the liberals for chumps and suckers and these bleeding heart, Negroes. You know, you could always sell a bleeding heart Negro on anything. Everybody's problem is a problem except for his damn problem. He's concerned about everybody else's problem, but when you start talking about his problem, he don't have any kind of compassion for himself. That nigger. You know, that bleeding heart Negro, he's always worried about what's going to happen, what's happening to everybody else. But the minute you bring up causes in his community and things that he should be concerned about, all of a sudden, well, you know, black people got to help themselves and black people kill black people. You had all that bullshit. Nigga, please. You know, that man should have never taken his daughter and put his daughter in harm's way like that. I don't give a damn what he was trying to get to or how bad he wanted to come to America. That's your daughter, fool. You don't take a 2-year-old and put her in no damn harm's way like that. Hell no. He's responsible for that decision. He used poor judgment, and now him and that innocent 2-year-old child is dead. That's the facts, Jack. Like it or love it, leave it. A man would never do that to his child unless he's running from serious danger, and then he has to make a serious choice, live or die. So maybe he may say, okay, we can die in the water or we can die by the fire, so I jump into the water and drown. Other than that, there's no reason for him to have done that. And I don't think that was the situation. Best I understand it. He wasn't running away from some mad lynch mob who was coming to destroy him and his family, like some of our ancestors had to do. He made a conscious decision, a piss poor conscious decision, I might add, to put himself and his daughter in harm's way. And this is the consequence of that poor decision. Like all poor decisions, they typically end up with a very bad consequence. Repercussions typically will kick you in the ass for making bad decisions. And that's without respect of person. And back to this, this bleeding heart, I can't believe. Well, let me show you something here. See this picture here? I want you to see that. Can you see that? Yeah, that's exactly what you think you're looking at. That's a young black child naked hanging from a tree by these folks down here, these Americans down here. See those Americans? They hung a child, that little boy probably 10, 11 years old, naked hanging from a tree by these men, these Americans. So you don't know anything. So you're all worked up behind the fact that, this man and his daughter were drowned. Well, how about this child? See him? Yeah, he's hung too. He's probably 13, 14 years old. Dead. That's the America that you said, that's not the America that you know that would allow someone to drown in the water because of the restrictions. How about this one here? How about the guy with the cat on? At least it was nice enough to let him keep his cap on. Huh? How about that? Or how about this one over here? This child. Body ravished, torn apart. How about him? Does he matter? Huh? Does Richard Dillon matter? Oh, that was his name, by the way. Come on. Well, how about these three? We were hanging them in triplets here. How about those three? Yes. And by the way, these are pictures from the 20th century. Oh, how about this group? Huh? How about them? How many bodies can you count there? That was hung by this great American, or this great not bleeding heart, this heart for America, this moral authority America. How about them? Huh? Is that enough for you? How about this man? Standing publicly. You see the marks on the back of his legs, on his buttocks, on his back? How about him? Made a spectacle out in front of everybody standing there looking at him. And oh, by the way, there's a story behind this. They lynched him when they were done beating him, like an animal. I don't want to hear nothing about your foolishness and your buffoonery, talking in terms of, this how could America, this great, moral authority nation with this great conscience about justice, and how could we allow people to die at the border? I don't know. How you allowed them to be murdered and slaughtered all over this country for hundreds and hundreds of years. How about the man in Indiana last week who they claimed threw a knife at the police officer and the police officer took his life? And we can go back to these other names. Y'all know Alton Sterling, Philando Castile. We can go on and on and on with those people as well. Walter Scott. It's disappointing. And sometimes I have to step in and say, are Americans just that gullible? And this I'm talking about white America. Is white America that gullible? Do you really think that no one knows and see the duality of what you care about versus what you don't care about when both are the same in many, many instances? Do you really think that that's not noticeable? Are you really that self-deceived? And I'll let you answer that question. But we can see you clearly. We see your behavior clearly. And the Pelosi's and the AOC and her dumb ass with all that shucking and jiving, just to get her face on camera to try to make herself relevant. Like she cares so much about going on down there at the damn detention centers. People don't give a damn about that. Trust me, it's all political. It's all fanfare, horse and pony shows. And they're playing on our ignorance, using our tax dollars in manners, that in a way that none of us have given them the permission to use those tax dollars. And then people who really do deserve, to be compensated, to be paid a debt that they owed, you wanna shuck and jive and act like somehow or another, Malcolm's blood and Martin's blood and Fred Hampton's blood and all of the other freedom fighters' blood that was spilled, even the fighters of the black men who fought on both sides of the Civil War, like all their blood don't matter. The black men who fought in World War I, World War II, their blood don't matter. All the black men who lost their lives in Vietnam, their bloods don't matter. All the black men who died in incarceration in these prisons, their bloods don't matter. All the black men who've been shot down by these police officers who really are just slave patrollers, their blood don't matter. All these families, communities that are destroyed by America's bias and hatred and bigotry towards people of color, it don't matter. But it matters. It matters. And you're looking at the judgment today. The hypocrisy, the ignorance, no judgment, no justice, a reprobated mind, can't even see your own evil, your own wickedness. You don't even know the difference between right and wrong anymore. That's the judgment from the Most High against you. You don't even know the difference between right and wrong. You don't even know it anymore. You have lost all ability to rationalize. And now you have become what you were, or what you have. Now the evil that you put out, now that evil has come back and is affecting you and your children. And it's going to keep happening because you're reprobated now. You won't change. It's all about games. It's all about power, all about money, and it's all about influence for you. But I'll say this again to copper-colored people, Hebrew Israelites, you better wake the shit up. You better wake your ass up before Yahweh judge you right along with the rest of those beasts out there. And I'm not talking about all white people. There's some good Caucasians out there. Few, but there are few. There's some good ones. Thanks for listening.